I was slow on the cue. I didn't see it early enough. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Today we are talking about Season 7, Episode 20, The Changing Face of Evil. Mike, I don't know if our faces, if we're evil, but certainly, if you've watched this entire series thus far, you have seen the changing faces of these idiots.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing, Mikey?
I am doing good, man. Great to be back. It was great to have Keith on the watch along that you can join in on the last 6 episodes, patreon.com/KNM. You might be wondering where we've been. We did take an unannounced week off, although I think we did probably announce it.
We soft announced it.
So we went and Keith performed to great, wild adoration his one-man show, 10 Times I Should Have Known I Was Autistic, at the United Solo over on Theater Row on 42nd Street, New York City. And Keith, such great demand that it has been extended one performance to the 19th. That's next Wednesday. You can get your tickets at autisticshow.com. But first, let's just take a moment. Applaud, Keith. You know, I will say, actually, we do get to see it on this show and our last show. You know, as hysterical as Keith's writing is, and the show is absolutely funny, it's a riot. It's also, there are some moments of, I think, a lot of empathy and discovery and you know, Keith brings us to some, we explore all the emotions, and it was really moving to not just get to feel proud of you, buddy, as I was. It was great to watch you on stage. It was great to kind of be a part of putting it all together. But to get to talk to my family and some friends and some patrons after the show who just enjoyed your work and we get to celebrate you for a night, buddy. It was really just awesome. And, you know, so often in life, I think, when we discover things about ourselves, especially those things that have been kind of hiding in the corners, and then we get to not just discover them, but then learn to love and celebrate them as we could become one with our identity. I think that's just a beautiful thing, and I'm so proud of you, not just theatrically, but personally. And I just wanted to take a moment here to say how much I enjoyed that evening of celebrating you, buddy.
Well, gosh, thank you. I very much appreciate that, and it's been a very rewarding journey for me so far. I have to get through one more show, but it's been incredible. And the thing that I feel most about all of it is gratitude for all of the people who have come out to support it, and all of the people like Mike who have put a great deal of their time and effort and energy into supporting this show. And Mike is a very integral part of the show, as somebody running all of the projections, which the timing of which is actually really important to the show being funny and all of that. So one of the major reasons that the show is in any way funny or in any way successful, it's because of Mike's unbelievable timing and generosity to come in and do the show. Now, if you want to see some, I put some clips right up on my YouTube channel this very morning, and thus far, out of the 5 clips, one person has viewed it one time.
That was me. I was going to the bathroom.
Oh, that was you. Look at you. Thanks, buddy. So you can find my personal channel on YouTube. It's just at Keith Varney, right? I think that's me.
I mean, that's not a question I can answer for you. I think it is.
It's a question that I should probably know, right?
This is going great. This is going great.
Yeah. Just Keith Varney. So you can go there and check out and check out some clips from the show. I'll be posting more and doing all of that because Mike, on top of everything he did already, is helping me direct and put together the filmed version of the show.
Which I have to say I got really excited about last night when I was kind of just doing some initial passes at it, and it's going to be good.
It is better than it has any right to be. In a lot of different ways.
There's not an impossible scenario that our patrons over at patreon.com/KNM will get a sneak peek at that.
I think there's a very good chance that if you want join at patreon.com/KandM, you might get access, early access to the filmed production of this. Anyway, so thank you to everybody. I feel immense gratitude for all the people who stepped up. Derek Rowland, who directed it. Jillian, my ex-wife, came and helped and played a big part of it. And so everyone else, it's great. Hopefully anybody shows up to the final performance. Tell a friend who might be in New York City who might want to come see it.
Really surreal moment after the show. We got to meet patron Jamie Lubin, who was there, whom feel like we're old friends. Of course. Obviously but it's really kind of the first time. It's the second time. I think I've told the story before. This is our previous pod. No, this was this podcast. We were having dinner in Philadelphia, and a waiter recognized me and was a listener of the show. He wasn't a listener. His wife was a listener, but he recognized my voice, and he said, "You remind me of somebody at a podcast my wife listens to." I was like, "It's about Star Trek?" He's like, "Yes, it is," and that was the weirdest until I met Jamie, and I was like, "Oh my God, real live human beings that I'm actually physically hugging right now watch this?" It's so weird.
It's hard to imagine. Yeah. Hard to imagine.
So thanks for coming out, Jamie.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, Wednesday, November 19th at 2:00, 2025. If you're watching this in the future times, then it's too late. You can't come. All right, so we have a lot to get into here on this episode of Deep Space Nine, because we're near the end and stuff is starting to happen, Mike. Stuff is starting to happen.
Things are blowing up.
Literally. So
Keith blowing up on the watch along.
Yes.
Papa Keith had to show up.
Get with the spoilers. Always with the spoilers.
See, when you least expect it, and you're coming to the watch along, you think you're gonna pop some spoilers out there. Who shows up? But Papa Keith.
But everybody's so excited to talk about the thing that is going to happen, which I completely get. But you say, like, "Oh, right now, here comes the thing," or like while it is happening, we're talking. Let Mike see it. Let Mike process it. Then we can all discuss it.
It's actually lovely because generally my workflow is on my OLED monitor, I have just the isolated episode. Then to my left off here, I have the OBS and all of the technical behind the scenes stuff. And then on my tiny right on this little laptop, I have the chat. I usually refer to the chat as much as I can and try to do all the things, but luckily Keith is able to yell so I didn't look at the chat. So it was not spoiled. Although, it was pretty clear what was about to happen, but...
Well, you think they're going to tease it. You don't think they're actually going to do it.
No.
All right, anyway.
I do want a moment. While you talk, go ahead and talk. I want to show the moment from our watch-along when it happens. You can tell.
Oh, okay, great. So let's do the reverse spoiler, and we're going to last week a spoiler, and talk about Strange Bedfellows. And here is what the patrons had to say about Strange Bedfellows. Joshua Cronin says, "I think this is such a great episode. It's Damar that does it for me. This journey he is on is so cool. I can't wait. Wynn being Wynn, as she always is, but showing the face now is spectacular. I love that people hate her because she's such a great actor. You're supposed to hate her. Powerful acting by those two. Wonder step in the finale. 94 self-sealing stem bolts from me." Brian from Video Game Drive-By says, "Hi guys. Hi Mike, I totally feel you on the allergies. I am incapable of doing a gentle silent sneeze and have often dislocated a rib when I have my allergy fits. Oh my God. It ain't easy being sneezy."
Yeah, I actually, Keith, you probably heard it. When I sneeze,
being sneezy.
I say the actual word achoo.
Yeah, because you say achoo. Because you're a Muppet.
Should I have known that?
It's a reference to an easy beat. All right, whatever. I'm glad you got it taken care of. Congrats on the additional show as well. Thank you. As for the episode, so glad we finally have stuff leaping forward after a nice slow build-up. And Damar! Amazing how that side character from so long ago would become such a compelling character in just an episode or two. The Worf Ezri stuff properly got discussed, finally. So glad Worf got to be unapologetically Worf in that beautiful moment of well-earned, pure Klingon murder. Yes! And of course, the small bit with Sisko and Martok. Wonderful. In a standout episode with standout performances, I was most surprised about the Kai's struggles. She walks right up to the edge of redemption and turns her back. It's amazing how earnest that all felt. This is a 90 bolter for sure. It's bittersweet knowing that your journey with the series is nearly over. But I'd like to share that my DS9 journey with the Lady of the House has just reached season 3. She now knows who the founders are. Watching the House of Quark as I type this, she's enjoying it so much. See, this is the glorious part about Star Trek, right? You have this thing that you love, and you can reach back and grab the hand of someone in your life and force feed them Star Trek until they love it. And then, which I did to Mike, and now Mike can do that to someone else. That's the circle of life.
Circle of life for me as well. I have this like weird feeling with Voyager where I'm like, it feels like starting over. It feels like I'm never going to love it as much. You know, it's like after that breakup and you're like, why bother dating?
I'll never be in love again.
But I also know, I'll never want to do anything less than I wanted to do out of practice. I was excited. I
can't believe you did it anyway.
I was excited to do a podcast again. I just wanted to talk and I wanted to hang out with Keith. But that show, like, zero interest. I have more interest in Voyager because I watched some of the pilot already. Yeah, I get it. I get the feeling because some people have written and they've, their Voyager isn't their favorite. But you know what? That's not the point of this.
No.
I'm not sure what the point is, but but that's not it.
What is the point? Is there a point to anything that we do? Who's to say? Hilarious. But yeah, no. Look, we're going through changes here. Sunrise, sunset on shows.
That's
right.
The point, Keith. That's the point.
That is the point. But honestly, this encapsulates exactly what the show is and what I wanted from this show. I wanted to watch somebody's face while this happens. So there it is. Patreon.com/K&M. John B says Damar's heavy drinking from was first seen in season 6 when he would visit Quark's bar all the time. Yes, it was. So that trait wasn't out of left field. It just got worse in season 7 to the point that he hid himself in a bottle until he didn't recognize himself anymore. Indeed, right you are. Hibernation Pod says Cassidy and Ben or Mike and Jen? Mike and Jen for sure. I was watching another podcast where he was talking about hanging upside down for so long and that it was dangerous to do so, even potentially lethal, talking about poor Ezri and Worf. I don't know how stressed they were, but I heard that more than 5 minutes and more than once is too much if I remember correctly. That's a one-take wonder, I would hope. Ducat's words to win. Stop pretending to be who you aren't. Rings very loudly and so close to home. It is an ominous way of unleashing your dark side. Be careful with your sex tease talk around Worf. Yeah. Also, never sign agreements to meetings you're not invited to. All agreed. Seriously though, 41 felt like a different era entirely. A better one, too.
41, the age?
The age.
Girl, I know it.
I mean, yeah, physically, yes. I think I'm enjoying the era that I'm in a lot more than I did 41.
Yeah, I turn 45 tomorrow. And...
Right. Everybody send your best wishes to Mike here.
At least somebody.
I said happy birthday to 3. Nobody is more excited about his birthday than Mike. So it is my cousin's 12-year-old, or my nephew's 12th
birthday.
12th birthday. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Today. And he's like, And 45-year-old Mike, it's my birthday!
It's definitely not as exciting as it used to be, but I was expecting sort of especially since it's starting to get cold and snowy, I was expecting sort of a existential sort of dread or some sadness, but you know what? No, because man, we're here. This at the best case scenario, I'm starting the second half of my book, right?
Right.
Best case scenario.
Part 2 begins.
Hopefully it's not the waning pages. But so there just ain't no time to not enjoy. It's time to just like try to take the time we have and with the people we love and that are worth your time, and that's what I'm going to do. That's my goal for this year, is to shrink my circle to those who deserve it.
Yeah, but honestly, while we lose some of our physical resources, our emotional resources, our wisdom resources, we now have some, and I physically am in more pain, but emotionally, as a person, much less.
If you're looking, I enjoy Steam gift cards, perhaps a PlayStation Network gift card, just toys in the mail are good, whatever, just reach out. Friends. Strangers.
The guy wants a birthday present. Here it is.
No, Chancellor Jen's taking care of me tomorrow, so I don't need any external.
Ask me what
friends.
I sent you. Nothing.
High five on Wednesday, baby.
High five on Wednesday. Exactly. All right. YouTube viewer says, at time codes, I won't read them because I don't remember what they were. I believe at this point, Ben is fully Bajoran religious. It's an opinion, and I don't have indisputable proof of this. Yeah, we were discussing, where is Ben's...
Right.
What is his journey with the Bajoran faith? It's a little open. I'm not entirely sure. Nana Visitor shows great subtlety in her acting. Kira is very disappointed but not surprised in him getting married anyway. Good point. The cutscenes were cut for a good reason. Usually when I hear about a cutscene, I'm thinking, I wish they fit this in. This is not the case. I don't think that the writers exactly knew where Damar was going, but they knew his role would be pivotal later. I watched a YouTube video analyzing Damar in great detail, and it pointed out that even when Damar was unnamed and barely had any lines in the first episode he appeared in, the camera lingered on his reaction very heavily. Damar's breakout was planned well in advance. Solid episode, no major quibbles. Gotta agree with Mike's 95 stem bolts.
Sounds like I'm nailing it.
You're totally nailing it. Kevin Miles says, Damar got tired of being everyone's doormat. Worf got Klingon closure. Ezri knows who she wants. Sisko and Cassidy are delightful. Win and Dukat are so diabolical you can't turn away. What does all that mean? 96 stem bolts. 100, very much agree. JD says, I like the filter you used in the opener. It looked good. Yeah, guess what? For our little teaser there, not a filter. One of the LED lights that I bought for my show 10 times. I should.
No, listen, I can't let Keith have all the credit. We also had a nice lens blur. I rotoscoped us out and lens blurred our background. So I know what you were talking about, JD. Yeah.
And you talking about the light.
I think he would have said the orange light Keith was up lighting on his face if he had been.
Well, he didn't know that it was practical.
Oh, you're right. That's
Could have been digital.
You're totally right.
We've done that plenty.
That's true. Also true.
Yeah, so if there's anything my basement needs more of is crazy moving colored lights, and now we have even more once the show is done. So JD continues. So my grandmother that died last year and her sister would get together at least once or twice a week for years for lunch or something. But about 5 to 6 years ago, they both had to stop driving, which meant one of us would get roped into driving them to Whataburger. And while I'd love to go to Whataburger. And while I loved them both and enjoyed spending time with them, the conversation started looping. They would talk about something for 5 or 10 minutes, and then, like something erasing the chalkboard, they would start the whole conversation all over again. And it was hilarious. So when Mike says he doesn't know what he said, I imagine the two of you in 30-ish years being like my grandmother and aunt, repeating the entire conversation.
30 years?
30, or right for you now.
This morning?
Did this just become, quote, an old song show?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Mike's attempt at 6'7" might be one of the saddest, most pathetic moments I have ever seen you have. Do it again.
6'7"?
What would you rate your reference? Like a 6 or a 7, maybe?
4?
I feel like in 10 years, some new iteration of Trek is going to have a character say they want to play Hide the Two-Headed Targ. And only a few will know who originated that cursed phrase. This guy. So, weird nitpick. I find it odd that Odo is represented in Wynn's vision. when I'm not sure of the two of them have ever spoken to one another in the 6 years they've been on the show. I realize it was probably just them trying to get a scene out of Odo somewhere in this packed episode, but he felt out of place there. Yeah, I think that's fair. So the Keith to Breen translator is amusing. Mike, one of the Casey Biggs' best acting moments is coming in a couple of episodes. So a little behind the scenes on Worf. When he joined Deep Space Nine, the writers were told they could not make any large changes to Worf without a decision from the top. Because even though he was on a different show, they still considered him a next-gen character first and foremost.
Interesting.
So as silly as it sounds, the only reason Worf and Dax got married was by committee meeting. But yeah, that did hurt Worf as a character later on. I like this one. It's 94 self-sealing stem bolts from me. Yeah, I mean, the complicated, meta-universes of IP, gotta be, I mean, think about poor Spider-Man, right? Because the Marvel created the character, runs this whole universe, but Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and produces the movies, and so they, there's all of this communication that has to happen every time they do anything. It's amazing how good it ends up being, anyway. Alan T. Girton says, I clearly remember Damar's turnabout from my in-real-life viewing, but somehow had forgotten Wynn's conflict in her realization. She'd been used and her desire to stay in power. Louise Fletcher's performance stayed 100% true to Wynn's character. And who doesn't love an oozy, conniving Ducat? Everybody. I have to agree, the cutscenes really didn't advance Cassidy's story, but I very much enjoyed Martok's marriage story with Sisko and Ben's callback to this scene with Cassidy. 95, we still ain't talking to Wynn. Orbs for this episode.
The Louise Fletcher of it all is, I mean, it's easy to just say she's a great actress, right? But it's really helped the writing because, as we will discuss this week, every time we think she's going full baddie, the next ep, she's still not sure she wants to go the full way. She's still falling back to her old beliefs and struggling with it. And that could feel a little wishy-washy or back and forthy, but it always plays true to life because just like normal people, even if you make a decision, you still second guess it up until basically it's done and you can't go back. So I just love the way it's playing out, and this week we'll have more of a conversation about that.
Well, and more, and also true to life, and true to good bad guys, is they don't know they're the bad guy.
Right.
Right? So she's still thinking she's the hero in the story. But once you go down a path, in order to stay on that path, you have to keep escalating the badness. It's Breaking Bad, right? It's all of these things where, you're still justifying it in your head. It gets harder and harder to do, but once you're, snowballing down the hill, you have to take that next escalation. But you see her having to rewrite in her own head to self-justify each of these things because she still thinks she's the good guy.
Yeah.
That's the most dangerous type of bad guy.
Yeah.
And lastly, I just want to send a welcome to Carver94, who hopped on, and a couple new folks who are joining up on the journey right here. So welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're watching with us. All right. Let's get into the changing face of evil, shall we?
Yeah.
Which aired on April 28th, 1999. The top song continued to ask the question, Mike, tell me again, how many scrubs do you have?
6? 7?
No. Scrub that from the internet. The top movie... I still don't know what that means. The top movie...
No, I really don't. I've had multiple people try to explain it to me. I still got nothing.
It's unexplainable. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like that pitch that you can't hear if you're over 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that whining noise. Yeah. The top movie was The Matrix. Back on top after a week off. Wow, that is not a good screenshot for either one of us. That's grim.
I love that we both went to do it, though.
We both went to do it and both bailed. It was like, oh no!
Yeah. Oof.
Don't do that on camera. Mike, what was on TV tonight?
I don't know.
Okay. What was Voyager doing? I'll tell you that. They did the episode Someone to Watch Over Me, in which the Doctor plays a bit of Cyrano, which interestingly, if you looked at it, it aired 2 days after Juggernaut. So, must have been like I don't know if it was we were in sweeps or whether they were burning off an episode. I don't know. But just 2 days before you get some new Voyager. Pretty fun. This episode, The Changing Face of Evil, was directed by Michael Vejar, who last directed Bada Bing, Bada Bang, and was written by Ira Stephen Behr and Hans Beimler. You know you had the big kids coming in. Which means we have a soupçon of... Now, Keith, waste your time.
With what?
With trivial trivia. So just a couple little tidbits. So the landscape, which can be seen from Kai Wynn's office, appears to feature a Baroque Catholic church resembling St. Nicholas's Church in Prague. I also thought it looked a little bit like the Duomo in Florence. But I would not be surprised if it just isn't that. And they just took a drop that they had in the archives, and we're like, let's fade it out and put it as far away as we can so we can't identify it. But it's clearly a drop that maybe lost some saturation. But who's to say? Who's to say? This is the final episode of the series composed by Jay Chataway. And we actually remarked on the Patron Watch Along how good the score is for this episode. So if you're going to do a finale of your composition for a show, why not this one? Our guest stars this week include Jeffrey Combs as Wayoon, doing some just phenomenal Wayooning this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Penny Johnson as Cassidy Yates, Mark Alaimo as Goldukat and Anjol Tenon, Casey Biggs as Damar, J.G. Hertzler as Martok, Aaron Eisenberg as Nog, Barry Jenner as Admiral Ross, James Otis as Solbor, rest in peace, John Vickery as Rasat, and Salome Jens as the female changeling, with special guest star Louise Fletcher as Kai Wynn. This episode might have been the most expensive one of the episode from guest stars alone.
That's why there's no ending. It just goes hard black.
Well, there's no ending. We are...
Yeah.
And interestingly, they don't even bother with it previously on.
No, you're just like, you're in or you're not at this point.
You're in or out, at this point. Speaking of people who are in right now.
Keith. Wow. You know what? A week off? That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Folks, that's Brian Kilmer Biersick, Quarks Bar, Jamie Lubin, Jason Moe, Deborah, Peter Bank Gala, Joshua Cronin, Anton Thies, Mike Allen Gerton, DC, Andrew Hayes, Alan, and the Mysterious. Worf's Big Ol' Boot Shivs, Charles Kelly, Charles Babbage, John Kelly, Keith Blank, Casey Alexander, Harry Pothead, Carl Fisher, Deborah Scott, Trent, Odo's Bucket, Lost Emu, Scotty B, Merritt Neath, Byron Woosley, Hey Sausage, Yum Yum, Ben B, Miles Davis, Sange, Brian from Video Game Drive-By, Nikolay Ivanovich Lobachevsky, YouTube Viewer Hibernation Pod, Miri, Rogue Knight, Fedora the Explorer, JD Makes, thanks for sending us stuff in the mail, Colin Dagan, Chris Mitchell, Frank Grinch, Pat, Joshua Cronin, Kevin Miles, and Justine. And of course, the Chancellor. Engineer Mater, Jerome Gibson, April H., James Hubbard, Jamie Rayborn, Fedora the Explorer, Yanba, Chanel, Laura Morrison, Bobby, Bowling for Soup, Lutz Krimmer, Wyatt Eldridge, Kevin Miles, Ryan Caputo, Old Guys Eating Oatmeal, Kelly Graybeal. Welcome to the team and all those friends joining us. Of course, some people have gone above and beyond. That's them on this golden thing. We owe them so much. This whole show is because of you. And of course, the second page. Join the team, patreon.com/KNM. Guess what? We're not going nowhere.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to those of you who upgraded this week.
Yes. Awesome.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, it's, in these tough times, we understand it's hard to be given anything, especially uncertain in these uncertain times. Yeah. So we appreciate anything you got. And as a reminder, if for any reason you have to jump off the team but still want access to the Patreon stuff and the watch-alongs, just send us a message. We can work it out. We've done it in the past. Yeah. We will do it again.
I was gonna say that. Like you're part of the family.
Yeah.
Right. We're not financially gatekeeping. Like
yeah.
if you really want to be part of the family, you can be part of the family. Like it's not about that.
Yeah.
We would rather be here and have you and share it with you than worry about money.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, but at
we appreciate your support, and those of you who can,
please do.
Give me money, please. But it's not about that, and so
we're kind of just wrapping it around anyway. We're helping the show, and truth be told, we just simply legally have to gatekeep it because obviously we're watching TV shows.
Protection.
So
yeah, but seriously, like, everybody is welcome. Feel no shame. Feel no whatever. I'm not a Patreon with us. All right, so let us go into our screening room, shall we?
Yeah, come on. I got to help those whales!
What I'd love is the delay. I've got to help the whales! Like you forgot what you had to help halfway through.
I think I might have had an aneurysm. Not quite sure.
I mean, I had one like pretty much twice a week for a year. So in our teaser, Ezri and Worf arrive back on the station, and they are greeted by O'Brien, Sisko, and Bashir. It's, war, so they can't throw a party.
Yeah.
Sisko arrives and only wants intelligence on the Dominion alliance with the Breen and Damar's secret face turn. Bashir and Ezri sort of play it cool, and weirdly as if they both know that the other one had an epiphany, but would have no way of knowing that.
It's weird. But
then, Kira calls and says the Breen have attacked Earth. Gulp. Talk about it like an abrupt, like, oh, okay, all right, here we go.
It's funny. Absolutely the wrong way to phrase that. Not funny. Interesting, maybe? Sad?
Hilarious.
When you called my attention to this matte painting, obviously in the foreground there is the Golden Gate Bridge on fire.
Right.
Destroyed. But my eye, because of my triggers and because of the world we lived in, Keith, goes to the skyline, and I see the smoke above the high buildings, and it's instantly where I go. It's just instant.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
That's
sure
all.
is.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
Oh, well, how things have changed.
Yeah, indeed. So, so the Breen have blown up half of San Francisco and the headquarters of the Federation, including the Golden Gate Bridge. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty jarring. Sisko tells Martok that Starfleet was able to destroy most of the Breen attack ships, but the damage is done. And Martok says, we must give the enemy credit to launch an attack against the Federation headquarters. My people never even attempted that. We've learned one thing about the Breen today, Captain. They're a race of warriors. And Sisko says, that's about all we know. Our intelligence reports are sketchy at best. Captain, every species has its weakness. There's no exception. Let's hope you're right, but whatever their weakness is, we better find it soon. Yeah. So on Cardassian, Weyoun, of course, is delighted by the Federation casualties and celebrates with the Breen general. Damar is there, undercover, and he pulls the Breen aside. A little, poke a little hole in it, and he says, by the way, in case Weyoun has neglected to mention it, the Dominion once sang Cardassia's praises as well. It's really quite simple. They expected the war to be over long ago. It's not, and for that, they blame us. Now, if the war doesn't end soon, they'll shift the blame to you. Which is just really good resistance work. Little psyops there. It is benefited by the fact that it is also the truth.
Right.
But really smart. And the other thing about this shot that I don't think I'd really clocked was how big the Breen are.
Yeah.
Like, Damar's not a small guy.
Yeah, interesting question here. Maybe we know, maybe we don't. I mean, they're leading us to believe, at least last episode, and kind of here too, is that for as long as he could... Oh, wait, I think I know the answer to this question as I'm saying it. Damar is going to keep his resistance force kind of under the radar. I thought it was going to be like you said, psyops and sort of hidden. But by the end, he's out. He's out front.
Right.
Like what changed?
So he's in the last stages of planning the sneak attack.
Right. And I forgot that the whole Wei-Yun attack is kind of what he was waiting for, right?
Yes. Yeah. So he's marshaling stuff, but then he's gonna out himself quickly. So back on Deep Space Nine, Cisco arrives home to Cassidy attempting to cook. It is not going well. And he says, "What are you doing? You don't cook." And Cassidy says, "I know. I was just making sure."
Great line.
It's a great line. Mm-hmm. Really good line. Then she announces that she's about to go on a cargo run, but Cisco doesn't want her to go. "We don't know where they're going to strike next. I feel better having you close by." And she says, "That's sweet, but I'm going to go anyway." More on that later. Meanwhile, Damar meets with an ally. He gives Damar a list of officers that they can trust, and Damar tells him to get them a message. And they've got a plan to attack a Dominion asset. On Bajor, Wynn is canceling all of her plans, and her assistant Saul Bohr is annoyed. Dukat comes in and starting to pompously strut like his old self. But Wynn puts him back in his place, and he returns to being operatically obsequious, which I thought was pretty funny.
So, this is another great kind of through line and plot in this episode too. I still can't quite figure out how much Dukat knows. Does he needs her as far as to get access to these books, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he knows how to get them to be read.
Otherwise.
I don't think he knows about them. I thought he was much more, up until this episode, I thought he had much more agency in the grand bad guy plot. I don't know what the Pah-wraiths are telling him. I don't know if he's just waiting around for information. He might actually believe it. I don't actually think he has like a bigger bad guy arc other than the self-aggrandizement of the Pah-wraiths chose me to be part of this, and there's still so many questions via Dukat that I'm fascinated by that.
Well, it's interesting because they both of these characters, they are sort of two sides of the same coin, right? They are what are their defining characteristics? Their lust for power, their need for admiration, and their need to feel like they are important and special and iconic. And so I think his motivations are the same as Wynn's. Right? The Pah-wraiths are going to give me power. I will finally get the gratitude and admiration and power that I've deserved all of this time. I will be the hero of this story. And so he's manipulating her using the tactics that he's being motivated by.
Mm-hmm. Also, a really advanced writing/directing choice being made is how often, Keith, would we see a lesser show when he started having a physical relationship with her, having a scene where he's wiping his mouth or he's showing some sort of disgust of her, and to show that, oh, that's just a part of the manipulation, or vice versa, or have anybody even Sobar make a comment about it. He makes some side eyes, but it's just they trust the audience to understand what this is all about. It's great.
Yeah, and we don't really know what they actually feel about each other.
Yeah, I mean, he shows a lot of actual what you could consider genuine affection for her here.
Like, are they actually in love? Are they not? I don't know. I don't know at this point, and it's really interesting. Was that part of the plan? Probably. Who knows? And they're both freelancing a little bit.
Are we going to get to see Dukat as Dukat again? Or is he going to stay Bajor in the rest of the series?
These are really good questions, Mike.
Don't put it in the chat.
I'm not going to answer it.
I know. That's why it's fun to ask you.
So Wynn is having a hard time pretending to be kind now that she's turned to the dark side. She wants to know when the Pah-wraiths are going to give her the power. And Dukat says they need to be released from the fire caves. This is a major escalation. Release them, but the prophecies, what about them? They warn that the release of the pirates will mean the end of Bajor. Not the old Bajor, perhaps, but a new Bajor will arise from the ashes and the restoration will begin. And who will be left to see it? Those that the gods find worthy. It will be the dawn of paradise, and you are destined to rule it. Getting right to what she needs.
And then she says, what about you? And he says, I'll be there as long as you need me. Interestingly. It's not a lifelong commitment there.
Well, I mean, he is desperately trying to seem subservient to her. You know, she's like any good Stephen Miller, right? You're actually in charge, but you're trying to make the person feel like they're in charge.
Right.
So he tells her that they need the text of the Coast Emojin to do it. And they talk about it like it's the Bajoran Necronomicon. And he says, you have nothing to fear. I'll be right here with you. And I love what she says. Did I say I was afraid? Awesome. So in Act 2, Bashir and O'Brien have built an enormous diorama of the Alamo in Quarks, who I bet is not thrilled to have an entire room filled with a diorama in his bar.
I love that. I just love anytime they decide to do something giant and practical, because you're like, couldn't that have been a holodeck?
No. Well, I mean, look, they had to build it either way.
Yeah, it's true.
Ezri and Worf watch them from the second level. And Quark comes in and says exactly what Mike said 10 seconds before Quark said it. I don't believe the two of you. Your homeworld has been attacked. The Breen have joined forces with the Dominion, and you sit here calmly playing games. They tell Quark how hard they've been working, and he realizes what's happening. And he says, then you two expect an attack on the station? Quark wants some reassurance that the station can survive an attack from the Breen, but frankly, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Worf and Ezri talk more Bashir. Worf is now supportive of Ezri making the move and having a great, post-romantic friendship, which I know something about.
Yeah, you know how, sometimes you travel to the destination. You travel to get to vacation can suck. Flying sucks. The drive sucks. Flight got delayed. Caught on the tarmac. Yada, 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 yada. But then kind of once you get there, it's awesome. You got the beach. You got the sun. That's this plot. Okay, we had our ups and downs, our struggles. Worf had a bad look. It went too long. They maybe shouldn't have banged. I don't know, all that stuff. But where we got this kind of post-romantic friendship, and he's giving her a hard time, but also, and then the banter, the comedic banter about it's all great. So
it feels really healthy.
Yeah,
it feels healthy and it feels great. I completely agree.
All of our current romantic entanglements are healthy relationships.
I think so. Yeah,
I mean, I don't really know what's happening with Kira and Odo currently. We haven't talked about that in a while, but we'll find out.
But they seem healthy.
Yeah,
but as we'll talk about later, I think Cisco and Cassidy's relationship here is so healthy, which is great. So Weyoun and Damar have a scene discussing the war when Weyoun notices that Damar has a spring in his step, that he has his confidence back, and he is sober for the first time in a while. Weyoun foolishly believes that this is because Damar is more confident about the war with the help of the Breen. Again, Weyoun's overconfidence being his Achilles heel.
Awesome shot. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, God, if that were me, that would be framed up on my wall somewhere. It was nothing looks so badass. So on Bajor, Solbar arrives.
Time out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not important. Maybe I can read into the fact that you didn't mention this. Now I'm going to start. We're in the last stretch here, so everything is a clue to me. There's a whole kind of Chekhov's conversation about the Breen refrigeration suit here. And how their homeworld is very pleasant, but they wear this refrigeration suit. Damar says, why do they wear it? And Weyoun says, they've got some surprises for us. Could be red herring, but we also had a previous... Martok was everybody's got their weakness. So clearly it seems to me like they're indicating the refrigeration suit is the weakness, or is that a red herring? Keith didn't even mention it in his breakdown. Is that to throw me off the scent? Or I don't know. Crazy.
Very interesting.
But I caught it. I want our intrepid viewers to know I caught it. I Agatha Christie'd that shit.
Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed.
Chekhov's space refrigeration suit, as it's known in literary circles.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. So on Bajor, Solbor arrives with the Coast Emojin. And
Isn't that the cruise ship from Italy that sunk or turned on its side and everybody pooped?
What?
The Coast Emoji, or like what was that Italian cruise ship that had to be like
the Italian cruise ship that went to its side and everybody pooped?
Didn't they have to like tow it back and there was no bathrooms? They all pooped everywhere.
Hold on, that tipped on its side and everybody pooped. I'm just gonna see what comes up. The Carnival Triumph Poop Cruise.
Okay, that's separate.
2011.
Yeah, the Poop Cruise is separate. What was the Italian one that crashed?
The Costa Concordia.
Ah, that's it. All right, I conflated them.
Well, there it is.
But every time you say Costa Emoji, I was just thinking of an Italian cruise ship and poop everywhere. So
just like everybody like tilting on a ship pooping.
Did you watch the Poop Cruise thing? Crazy.
I did not.
Oof.
I will never go on a cruise. Anyway, Solbor is not cool with this, or Ducat. And he says, this man, he arrives one day on Deep Space Nine and the next he becomes your closest advisor? What do we know about him? Where does he come from? What does he want? All fairly good questions.
Oh, but what makes it so badass is he says it right in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
That's badass.
Badass. So,
good way to get shanked.
A little bit. Is a little shank risk happening right now. So, Wynn gets the key to unlock the book and opens it to discover that all of the pages are blank. Locked books. Love that detail.
Yes.
I love that's the thing. But the pages are blank, and they have to find a way to reveal them. And I think they've done, just thinking through all of these, they've done a terrific job with the set designs in this episode and this last sequence, because we have like 6 different stories happening concurrently. And each of them has a unique look and a disparate location to help us keep track of each of these storylines.
100%.
And like, that's an important part of, with this complex of a story, with this a serialized story, we need to know immediately, where are we, who are these people, and this, like the yellow of it all, the yellow, the gold, the brown, the Bajor, like it is very clear where we are. It's just good set design. So in Act 3, Odo and Cisco keep preparing for a Breen attack when Cassidy comes in and she's pissed. Cisco has pulled strings to stop her from running her cargo trips. And she says, I don't care if it's only for a day. How would you like it if I called Admiral Ross and said, do me a favor, please don't send my husband on any dangerous missions this month? And Cisco says, it's not the same thing. And she's like, no, it is from where I'm standing. My job is just as important to me as your job is to you. To which I say, good for her. Mm-hmm. And good for the writers for holding him accountable this way.
Yeah, yes. And
I mean, it's not like I don't understand the anxiety.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be one thing if it was just like, I'm a captain, you don't need to work, little lady. That'd be one conversation. It's not that.
Right.
There's people blowing up planets right now.
People are, but like, you know, he's putting himself at risk and she has no right to tell him not to. And he has no more right to tell her not to risk herself for the cause than she does with him.
Yeah, I will say the thing that was a little, I mean, though I think, once again, I think his motivations are completely understandable, but
very understandable.
He did go behind her back and try to kind of sneak attack it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he wants to spend all night trying to talk her out of it, 100%, absolutely. But he doesn't get to unilaterally decide what she does.
At least get a better plan than that. If you're going to try to sneak it by her, you better be a little more...
Yeah, you are not going to sneak anything past Cassidy Yates. Like, come on now.
Yeah, this is a lady who's got her sticker on that plastic barrel, all right?
She is branded. Mm-hmm. We know what her deal is. So meanwhile, on Bajor, Solbar continues warning Wynn about playing with the evil books. And Ducat keeps trying to undermine Solbar. because he is a threat to this whole operation. But Wynn loses patience with them both and kicks them both out. Ben then bought Cassidy flowers to apologize, but she doesn't care about them unless she's allowed back on her job, which he has already done. And I already said, but like I like this story so much more now than I did as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Like it has so much more to say about real relationships. I was a kid, I didn't understand.
Yeah, you're like, when are you gonna blow something up?
Yeah, blow something up. I was like, I don't care about those old people, those old fuddy-duddies, and they're probably their 30s. Ouch. So Admiral Ross arrives and says, the Breen have broken through their defenses in 2 places. In the sector that they fought so hard for at the end of season 6. There's a long cutscene here in which Ezri and Bashir almost talk about their feelings for each other, but don't get to. Which it's sort of in like sort of a sitcom-y way, and then they get pulled off, which I think would have been a perfectly fine scene, but we don't have time for that in this episode. Yeah. We'll get there.
We got enough of that in the front too.
We did. So in Act 4, the Defiant is going back to battle. The Dominion is trying to retake the Chintaka system. Nog is nervous on the bridge, as is Bashir and O'Brien, because Bashir lost their little Travis action figure from their model. And Kira says, that's what happens when you share your toys. And this is exactly why I don't have children, so I don't have to share my toys. It's hard enough trying to keep Charlie from, having me. I lost a Tom Paris for like 5 years. I don't even know where Tom Paris is.
You know what makes me a little sad, Keith, but also happy? You know, multiple things can be true at the same time.
Indeed.
So when I have friends come over or family come over that have kids of any age, I mean from like 16 under.
Sure.
And we're hanging out upstairs. And I've been a kid, so I know that grown-ups talking is boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always say, go downstairs, hang out, watch TV, play PlayStation, do whatever you want. I've made a whole freaking fun house down here.
It's a kid palace, right?
Go ahead. And I always hear parents take their kid aside and go, Uncle Mike's very particular. Don't touch any of his stuff. And listen, hold on, I dropped my headphones.
See where you're going with this.
Listen, I appreciate that because it's true. Don't touch my shit.
It's true.
But also, I really don't care that much. There's nothing down here. I mean, don't take a $6,000 guitar off the wall. That's probably that's
Don't
fair.
break any of the Mike figures. They're one of ones.
Yes, but so
he's very particular about the action figures.
It makes me sad that that's my rep, right?
And you gotta be who you are, buddy.
But also, go play. I understand. Go be a kid.
You know, you said 2 things can be true at the same time. One can be seen and judged in the same moment.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Great take by Nana here. I hope we get more on Nana soon.
I feel you. I am I'm exactly the same way, except I don't allow children in my home.
You're right.
I mean, to be fair, nobody wants to be there, so it's all
I do
fine.
also think I've mentioned this on the pod before. My sister's kids broke my television once. And their dad tried to buy me a TV. I was like, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, I'm going to make it right. I was like, all right. And so he sent me a link to this cheap ass TV. And I was like, yeah, dude, just letting you know.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, I'm not buying a Vizio.
Well, I was like, he wanted to buy the TV. I was like, no, I'm going to replace what I actually had. If you want to give me the cash towards that Vizio, I'll take it. I'll put it towards it. But here's what I'm going to buy. And then things played out. But
got real quiet then.
It's been quiet ever since, if I'm being honest.
You haven't spoken since.
Yeah, just kidding. I love them.
Anyway, so Cisco arises. That was the least relatable conversation. 2 persnickety old men reveling in their privilege and how much they hate kids touching their stuff. We just had our super villain conversation.
Well, that's why we do a video podcast about our toys, so that people can look but not touch.
Look but don't touch. They're very particular. Yeah. They're very particular.
I see you touching your YouTube screen. Stop it.
Wipe off that screen.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, all right.
Do you ever do that if you're holding your laptop and someone comes over to point at something on the screen? You're like, don't touch it. What are you doing?
I'm more concerned, like, oh God, when's the last time I cleaned the screen? And I'm more afraid of you judging me for the screen not being dirty than I am them touching it.
That's where our neurodiversities diverge.
Yeah. I'm tidy. I like things to be a certain way, but I'm not as OCD about like smudges and stuff as you are.
Interesting.
Anyway, Sisko arrives on the bridge, and they set course to rendezvous with the fleet. On Vejar, Wynn has fallen asleep studying, and Solber tries to take the books back to the archives. But he's confronted by Dukat, who literally punches him and knocks him to the ground, then takes the books back to Wynn. It's a big move.
Big move. Especially, it kind of does highlight, if you really kind of think about it, that... So that's a bad move if you're trying to stay covert. If you're trying to fly under the radar, you don't want to start punching people because that might anger them, who then might start doing some research.
Yeah.
Unless you will stop at nothing to get what you want, in which case, if somebody's standing in your way and you know what the inevitable comeback will be, who cares?
Well, it's possible that you're punching a Democrat who will just surrender and give up and not provide any resistance whatsoever.
No, he got some assurances.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know that bully who took your lunch at recess? You know, if you just give him a little bit of just some of your lunch, next time he's definitely not going to come and take more of it the next time.
Well, you're going to have a conversation in December and decide how much of your lunch you're going to give him.
That's right.
At least you're going to have a conversation.
I mean, you know, at this point, I still get to eat 30% of my lunch, and he would never come back and take more of it, because otherwise I'd go hungry.
Well, he also gets to go on TV and be a hero, so...
You effing cowards. Anyway, not that I'm mad about that. Where were we? So, on Cardassia, Damar and his assistant plot an attack. Damar says, "Excellent, we strike in 7 hours. And we're going to lose many fine soldiers. At least they'll be dying for Cardassia and not the Dominion."
Good line.
Yeah, Bobby Moynihan is locked in.
Yeah, really locked in here.
Yeah. Tell me that's not Bobby Moynihan.
It does. Drunk uncle.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the female changeling and Wayun fly towards the battle on a Jem'Hadar ship. The battle lines are drawn. Both fleets are massive. Dominion, Breen, and Cardassian ships versus Federation, Klingon, and Romulan ships. This is already the battle of the 6 armies here. So in Act 5, the battle begins, and the Defiant uses quantum torpedoes to immediately wipe out the first Breen ship. It's going great! Then they fire on the next one, destroying it as well, but before it blows up, they get off a shot and zap the Defiant with some new weapon that we have never seen, as seen by that cool blue lightning effect. They get their asses kicked. Kira collapses, their armor is down, there are hull breaches everywhere, and they are forced to abandon ship. They all head for the escape pods. Bashir carries an unconscious Kira. Sisko stares back at the destroyed bridge, and O'Brien tells him, "You gotta go." The escape pods fly out, revealing dozens of similarly destroyed good guy ships. Then, the Defiant explodes. The Defiant
is no more.
Let's talk about it.
She was a good ship. I think we need, like you said, the series needed it. We couldn't just be on the. It used to be Worf's bunk station. He used to live there. We've had an enormous amount of incredible episodes on the Defiant.
Set on the ship.
Adventures through the Defiant. The Defiant's been stolen 30, 40 times. Yeah. Somebody said it in the chat last night, and it's perfectly surmised. When you can feel the weight of losing a ship, like losing a character, you've done your work. And you feel it here, and it's sad. For a second, I got worried when there was Keith was yelling about spoilers, and I saw Kira on the ground. I was like, are they gonna off Kira like that, like Dax, like just an offhanded little bump?
Just like a casual.
Yeah, but luckily it wasn't that. But this is big, and it brings up a lot of questions. With 6 episodes to go, where are our pews gonna come from? And Ross did say he'd get Ben a good ship, but yeah, more. Well, I guess we're gonna talk about what the conscious decision that the founder makes to let them go, because they could have easily killed everyone then, and they chose not to. Which feels a little
convenient, but there's a reason for it, and it is still convenient. I still think it's the wrong choice, but at least they do make an effort to explain
let General
why.
Washington, if they were to capture, like when they captured Yorktown, like let General Washington go so that he can tell all of the other rebels that the big bad British are coming, or kill General Washington.
Yep. No.
But what's cool about that is it does highlight the hubris, because if you make everybody subservient to you, if everyone is a sycophant, Keith,
right,
there is no one to counter argue.
Yeah.
Strategic planning, which
no one to say like, hey, you know what? These guys have been pretty pesky. And we keep letting them go, and they keep coming back and kicking our asses. Maybe let's just take them out.
You stop reading the security briefings, at some point, your security gets breached.
I can't read. Yeah. So, but I think the biggest part of what this does is it escalates the danger, right? Because we've seen the Defiant survive the Borg, Cardassians, Romulans, Klingons, all sorts of different things, and like take a hit but survive. And they got one punched by the Breen, and that is like a big time So here's what you said about the founder here. Weyoun, look at all of those escape pods, so small, so vulnerable. I'll order their destroy. It was almost what's his name from SNL? Lorne Michaels. Look at all those escape pods. Anyway, but the female shavelifter says, no, let them return to the Federation. Those pods are filled with frightened, demoralized troops. Troops that will spread fear throughout the Federation with tales of what happened here today. The founder is wise. Disagree, but at least there's a reason. So back on Bejar, Dukat tends to win. I'm here to serve you in any way I can. We know. But they're interrupted by Solbor. He's figured it out, and he reveals that Dukat is a Cardassian. But more than that. Don't listen to him. Look in his eyes. Don't you recognize the face of your enemy? It's Gul Dukat. Wynn is horrified. And Dukat says he doesn't understand. He can't understand the love of the Pah-wraiths. And she grabs a knife and holds it at Dukat. But Solbar confronts her. You've betrayed the prophets. You've betrayed us all. Wynn says, listen to me, the Pah-wraiths, they're the true gods. You must be stopped. And this is when Wynn, and you called it on the stream, Wynn herself stabs and kills Solbar.
He gets Caesared.
And this is the thing. You go down a certain path and you're going to get caught, and what do you have to do to protect yourself? So, we see it all happen in her head, right? So she kills him because he's going to out her, right? She's going to face accountability. But then immediately she has to justify for herself why it was the right thing to do, which is why immediately she has to go back on Dukat's side, even though she knows he's Dukat, because to do anything else would be to admit that she's on the wrong path.
Well, she also got carrot sticked here because, as we should have put together, no I can't remember.
Respecting.
Yeah, self-respecting blood evil cult would possibly not have some sort of a blood of the innocent sacrifice key to unlock something. You need it, and we haven't had that yet. And so clearly we needed this. So
yes,
it was time.
So Wynn says, "Don't touch me. My life is over. The Pa-wraiths sent you to destroy me. On the contrary, they sent me to save you. Lies. Nothing but Cardassian lies." And this is where exactly what you said. She goes to destroy the Kostamojan. But when Solbor's blood hits the pages, there is a burst of flame, and of course the text is revealed.
Mm-hmm.
The Pa-wraiths have judged you and found you worthy. Their secrets are now yours to do with as you please. Take their gift and use it. Seize the power they're offering you. I'll take care of his body. Yep. Here we are.
Here we are. The poop
back on. What's that?
The poop hit the deck of the cruise and unlocked the evil poo-wraiths.
The Pope has pooped. Back on Deep Space Nine.
Children.
They're not allowed to touch our things, but we'll just be one.
Yeah.
Back on Deep Space Nine, Ross and Cisco mourn the Defiant. "It may take a little while, but we'll get you another ship. That's a promise."
You've got 6 weeks, Ross.
Yeah, 6 weeks. "I wish I knew how we were going to neutralize the Breen's energy dissipators. We need to buy some time. Time is the only thing we don't have. Unless..." Kira calls and says we're getting a message. Damar is giving a public speech announcing that this morning, detachments of the Cardassian 1st, 3rd, and 9th Orders attacked the Dominion outposts on Rondak 3. We see Weyoun and the Founder watching this as well. And Damar says, "So I call upon Cardassians everywhere. Resist today. Resist tomorrow. Resist until the last Dominion soldier has been driven from our soil. Resist!" Or maybe not. Because if they promise to stop attacking you, you can just, give up. It's confirmed, and then Weyoun realizes the implications of what has happened. It's confirmed. Our cloning facilities on Rondak 3 have been destroyed. This means something, because that is where they clone the Weyouns. And he says, I could be the last Weyoun. That's why they picked that target. And the Founder tells him to find Damar. And he says, I don't care how many Cardassians you have to kill, find Damar. Is that clear? So, for Weyoun, boy did the stakes just escalate.
Mm-hmm.
So back on Deep Space Nine, Ross says Damar may have just bought us some precious time if the Dominion doesn't track him down too quickly. We have to find a way to help him. Legate Damar may be the key to saving the Alpha Quadrant. Credits. Not even a to be continued. Because that is how we are doing the end game, folks.
So I'm going to say it right here before we even go into our little thing.
Do our end game?
I was the first to laugh and roll my eyes at Damar with the whole drinking thing, and now I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite characters.
There it is. Let's sing about it.
AlamarEmmys there was more. AlamarEmmys, it's AlamarEmmys time. Before it's all said and done, Keith, I'm gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back and revisit the actual AlamarEmmys song because I've now brainwashed myself and have no concept of anything else but that sound of my sinuses imploding upon themselves.
Well, I mean, that song does have a physical effect that's not positive.
Oh, man.
They might have played it on the poop cruise.
Uh-huh.
Might have just been that brown note for everybody.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Noted. So, man, there's some really great... In fact, this is an episode of moments, right? It's some great just moment to moment. And it's also a great conversation to be had about what has not been further in this episode. We don't mention the Founder illness once. I thought that was going to be this freaking central conceit to the whole endgame. Didn't even talk about it this week. so many good moments. But I mean, kind of want to. I think the Caesaring is big. The final choice. Once the blood drops from that dagger of Amun-Ra onto the page, it's sort of like really signifying the full bad guy has been realized, right? So now it's like the Emperor is the Emperor, Darth Vader is Darth Vader. We got the baddies ready. But also, I mean, the Defiant blew up, which is a pretty impactful moment. Well, those are my two. So I'll go for the win of it. I think that backstab still even a bigger gasp for me than the Defiant, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those are two of the biggest moments in the show. Obviously those are like the big moments. I think for me, just for the sake of being interesting, I think it's going to be Weyoun's realization that he's no longer immortal. And I think that is just his pettiness with Damar he's finally going to pay a price. Because, like, Worf killing him was not really paying much of a price.
Right.
Right. This is him finally actually paying a real price for the crappy way he treats everybody.
I think there's also, from a production standpoint, something really interesting, a best moment here for me. And we mentioned it when we went through. So, so often we shot Damar kind of over the shoulder as he's talking to Dukat or to Weyoun.
Right.
Secondary. And obviously the makeup is a little different this week to show us that he's more clear-eyed and confident and all the things that Weyoun brings up. But we also get 2 to 3, one specifically, but like 2 to 3 actual hero shots of Damar this week.
Yes.
When he turns over shoulder, it's a hero shot. It's shot front on or slightly down angled instead of up. With him sitting in a captain type-esque chair, giving that speech at the end, hero shots. And so not only does the narrative tell us that he is now on our side, and they say, I mean, it's the last line of the episode, right? Ross says, but we also visually are now shooting him differently in hero shots, and I think that's pretty impactful.
Might you say that his face was changing?
You get some stambles. Hell yeah, they are self-sealing. Here are some stambles for you.
Yeah, so we're moving, right? Things are happening now. I would say that the energy is no longer kinetic. Wait. Yes, the energy is now kinetic. It was potential, it is now kinetic. We are firing.
Yep. Big time.
Battles are happening. People are dying. Ships are blowing up. Cloning facilities are exploding. Ketracel White production is slowing. Everything, and it's not just one-sided. A lot of times you just...
San Francisco got blown up.
San Francisco got blown up. Joseph Sisko could be in danger soon. Like there is stakes everywhere. But we've built enough goodwill that we can still have little character moments between relationships, even comedic ones at the bar, that don't feel out of place in the grand. We've been able to mix tones right because we've earned it. And what's nice is that it's not doing the typical thing where, since we're in the final shoot, it's just losses on the bad guys or on the good guys' side. A lot of times shows will back us so deep into a corner that you don't, like, it's like wrestling, right? You don't get the hot tag until the very, very end. But that's not what's happening here. Right. It's back and forth. We're trading blows, which I find to be much more interesting.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like nobody's safe. They could kill any character at any moment. I do feel
the Defiant.
Yeah, I do feel that. I don't see a world with the exception of Worf, because I know, well, like you said, it could be a clone, but I don't think he is. That anybody's safe. I don't know for a fact that anybody gets out of this, or that everybody gets out of this. So that's awesome. What a cool place to be in. Since things are moving, I'm going to give it a little bit better. It's not one for the ages. I think it's memorable for a few of those moments. Actually, it's some huge moments. That final wind turn, I think we can call it the final wind turn. The final Weiyun and Damar's hero shot. Those are big moments. So I'm gonna bump it up 2 points. I said 95 last week. I'm going 97.
Yeah, I mean it's the kinetic point I think is exactly right. So we've spent most of the season setting up dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We've made them beautiful. We've got them all set up. And this episode is when they start falling, and they start falling fast. I mean, we're going down. So many gigantic things happened in this episode. It is almost overwhelming to process all of it. San Francisco being attacked, winds, killing Solbor and realizing that Ducat is Ducat and being okay with it, right? The Defiant blowing up, the turn from Damar. Damar comes out with this resistance. They make Weiyun mortal. The Breen one shot the entire fleet, right? So it wasn't just the Defiant. That entire battle fleet looked like it was wiped out. So, oh my God, so many things happened in this one episode that, again, you can't really look at any one of these pieces out of context, which is why they're not even doing previously on or to be continued, because this is part of, this is act 3 of a 9-act series. So in some ways, if you structured it like a movie in the 3-act structure, right, this would be our first action sequence before we, and sort of go in the ups and downs as we're ramping up for the finale. So it's incredibly successful. It is so much to process all at once because the pace, this is at a breakneck pace.
Yeah.
And it has to be. To tell the amount of story that we have left in the amount of time that we have, it's almost frantic. Which wouldn't work if we hadn't done all of the groundwork ahead of time and spent episode after episode understanding Wynn, understanding Ducat, understanding Damar, understanding what the Defiant means to all of these people, understanding what San Francisco means to these characters, so that out of context, it can be chaotic. In context, it's exhilarating.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're here. We're in it. It's amazing. It's a blast. It's almost breathless. And here we are. We have 5 more episodes to go. 5 more episodes. 6 hours.
Did you give it a number?
Oh, 95. 95. So, yeah. 5 more to go. It's crazy to think that is where we're at right now. So, God, it's ridiculous. So, next week we're gonna do When It Rains.
The biggest leg up I have is, well, one, I don't have to watch commercials. B, I know it. I trust you implicitly at this point, and you say it sticks the landing. So I know that I don't even have to fear that. I just get to sit back and enjoy. You know what I mean? That's pretty great.
Yeah. No, for sure. So
that being said, 5 episodes to go, 6 episodes to go. I've promised this before. I promise it for real now. I will give us at least 48 hours of notice before we watch the next episode. I know I've been kind of dropping it day of. And a lot of you still join.
Tons of people.
Not particularly fair. I know that a lot of you probably want to watch this last arc with us. So. We'll make a deal. I'll give you at least 48 hours notice, if not more, and you just lay off the spoilers. All right, that's the deal.
Lay off the spoilers.
Yeah.
That's the only deal is you and you must not calibrate your spoiler settings. Calibrate to Uncle Keith, which means no. I've said it ad nauseum. Just be careful.
Yeah, just be careful.
Because and give it a beat. Right, even if it's just happened, give Mike a chance to process what happened and then discuss.
Yes.
Because it's all happening so fast. Remember, it's his first time thing. It is Mike's first time. He hasn't seen it 38 times like all the rest of us have. But It's so much fun. I'm so glad to be on this journey. I'm so grateful to you for doing this with me.
That's a
And
blast.
we got some.
Yeah.
Oh God, only 5 more to go.
Yikes.
Crazy.
I can't. You know what I'm
Yikes.
really excited about? Just to kind of. So we were just cleaning up the other night, and I found my box of like all of the Deep Space Nine characters you gave me from Playmates.
Oh,
and I
right,
had
yeah.
not put them up yet because I was waiting until there were some characters we hadn't met yet, so I didn't even open the box. So I just opened it the other day and saw how much is there, and I'm actually getting excited. I think as like my celebration for the finale, I'm gonna find some shelves over here and like set up the entire Deep Space Nine cast, which I think will be fun.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that could be maybe
Awesome.
a Toys episode. Maybe we'll do something.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, and just out there, like, there's going to be more than 5 more episodes of
Yes.
Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. We're also
Yeah.
going to talk about what we left behind. Of course we have to. But then I think, and maybe this is something we can all collaborate on. I want to do some, like, ranking. I want to do, like, you know, top 10 episodes, top worst episodes, top whatever, and just do some stuff like that are just sort of fun that we can all collaborate on,
Yeah.
and everybody can share their ideas.
Oh, that's a great idea. And, you know, I encourage you when this all comes to a close and we jump into Voyager, we have also talked about some things we're going to do Patreon exclusive. We're going to do some X-Files stuff. Golden Girls is not dead. Still figuring out how we're going to work all this in. And we're going to keep our schedules such that Keith and I can be excited and enthused and not burn out. But whatever you may think of Voyager, just remember it's not just watching Voyager. It's watching Voyager with me for the first time and talking
right.
about it with me and Keith, which is a different vibe. So maybe you don't love it, but maybe you'll find something. And don't also forget, one of Keith's brothers worked on the show, and so we're going to get maybe some behind the
He's
scenes
going to
looks
be
at
mad if you don't like it.
it. But maybe we can get some info from him. He gave us
For
a great
sure.
pod before, so we'll be back on that as well. Anyway,
No question.
whatever. What am I trying to say?
yeah,
This is the
whatever.
most promotion we've ever done.
Oh, no, jeez. Look at
Which
those
actually
shills.
Jamie made a joke about when I met her. She was like, "Yeah," she's like, "You guys like never met anybody with such a good show that doesn't promote it at all."
It's true.
She's not wrong.
We
All
only
right.
promoted on the show. All right. Anyway, there we go. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you so much for watching. Till then, this has been Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Thank you for watching K&M Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, please like and subscribe. Or become one of our patrons at patreon.com/KNM.
All right, so hold it up. I'll let it smoke for a little bit, and then it'll blow up, and so I guess.
Go from there you go. That's the best angle.
All right. Oh yeah, it's covering your face, so just leave it there for a second, and I'll respond.